It's a blessing to just the fact that I know him and I know how much he's saved me. You know, I'm a 3-time advanced stage cancer survivor, and you know, on January 3rd, 2003, I flatlined, and it makes you really kind of take life. You look at life from a different lens, if you will. You know, every morning I wake up, I'm just so thankful. He's the reason why we do this. He's the reason why everything that we do together, that we have this purpose, this feeling of purpose. We're entering an age, what's called the quantum age, quantum era. And what that means is that we're dealing with computers now that are billions and trillions times more powerful than the most powerful computers that we have currently. And those are called quantum computers. Those quantum computers can be used by bad actors, bad state actors, to break encryption and to break what we know to be safe. Krown is done, you know, with the intention of defending against evil. It's done with integrity. It's done with honesty and transparency. Everything that we do, and you know, we live the Lord's, the Lord's calling and our purpose, you know, in that way. We try to give back in everything that we do. So we look at it and we say, okay, with this product, this is great. What revenue model can we get? How can we make this better for society? And then what good can we do with it? And how do we give back?
Welcome to the Marketplace Kings podcast. I'm your host, Richey Owen. Over the past few podcasts, we've heard from business leaders in industries like oil and gas, construction, big box retail, health entrepreneurs, and even home lending. Today, I'm excited to introduce our guest who's in the Web3 space. You may know it as blockchain or crypto. He's a true Joseph in this space, leading the charge in an area that's 5 to 10 years forward thinking. I'm not going to spoil it, but as a Christian, he feels that God's led him to this industry for a reason. If you're liking this content and you want to hear more stories of business leaders who follow the lead of the Holy Spirit in their businesses, then subscribe to the podcast so we can keep producing more content like this. Also, be sure to like this episode so that the algorithm will push it out to more people. James Stevens, so glad you're here. Excited that you jumped on this podcast.
Thank you, Brother Richey. How's your day been? It's good to see you.
Good. It's good. I know you're super busy with what you're doing, and I appreciate you taking this time.
Absolutely, man. Happy to be here. I love the show.
Well, I'm going to give you an introduction, and we'll get started. So today, welcome a true pioneer in blockchain, cybersecurity, and quantum innovation, James Stevens, the visionary founder and CEO of Krown Technologies, Inc. He has led the development of the world's first quantum-secured Layer 1 blockchain, along with quantum-resistant hot and cold wallets and the groundbreaking 4FSA protocol, raising the global standard for digital asset protection in the coming quantum era. Recognized internationally, James has been honored by the marquee who's who for the impact in blockchain, cryptocurrency, and global cybersecurity. He was named the most dynamic CEO in blockchain 2025 by the Global Recognition Awards. And he's an official member of the Forbes Technology Council, where his thought leadership has been featured on Forbes.com. He's a certified blockchain expert, certified cryptocurrency forensic investigator, and a board-certified organized retail crime investigator. This unique combination bridges deep technical expertise with investigative precision and global security insights. And if that's not enough, he's graced the covers of more than a dozen international magazines like Entrepreneur Insights, CIO Views, The Silicon Review, Digital Times Magazine, while building the most ambitious blockchain ecosystem in the world, the Camelot Ecosystem, under the Krown Network banner, with the promise of redefining blockchain excellence, creating a robust, rewarding, and sustainable ecosystem that empowers both individuals and enterprises alike. Please welcome James Stevens.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. I love this show. So thank you again. I'm ready to get started on this. This is going to be fun.
So how did you get into this space to start with?
Well, I've always been fascinated with technology and how it can change the world, but more so it was really about my own negative experiences in the space. I was taken advantage of. I'd been stolen from. I saw the dark sides of the space, and I really kind of I wanted to change that. I wanted to change the trust. I really wanted to get it back into the light and be able to give people something that they can believe in. And so for me, it was really about a lot of prayer in the beginning. My wife and I prayed about it, and one night it just it came over me. It was just like a wave, and I knew what the name was going to be, and it was almost like it was just given to me. But and it was going to be called Krown, for the crown of thorns, and my faith plays a very big role in everything I do. So this was really born out of the negative side and the dark side of the space, and so that's how I got into it initially.
So you were doing cybersecurity, or
Yeah, I was in this space. So I was in crypto and blockchain for about the last decade, even when it wasn't, very pretty and people really didn't know what it was. Kind of like quantum now.
mm-hmm.
And for me, I had invested in a few projects and ended up getting what's called rug pulled, and where you lose your money. And I've lived that dark area of the space, and for me, it was I wanted to create something that was good and something that we could do good in the world with, and that's how Krown was born.
Yeah, I've had a couple of those experiences too. I recently went onto a wallet and was like, okay, I know I saved something here. And I
Yeah,
went there and sure enough, nothing was there. So
yeah, it's that way. I mean, it's like it's if you don't have. For me, it's like, okay, when I look at something nowadays, I say, especially with Krown, I say, how can this be used for good? How can we help people with this product? We have over 30 different products in the platform. So, you got to understand, it's like a lot of people ask me, well, tell me about Krown Network and tell me about, and what does it do? And so I tell them that it's the first, quantum secured layer one blockchain. I tell them it's built for good. I tell them that the pillars of what we do is really trust, transparency, integrity, and execution. So but for Krown, it's much more than a blockchain. It's a full ecosystem, what we call the Camelot ecosystem. Um, there's social media platforms, there's gaming platforms, there's e-commerce, there's banking, there's trading, real world utility, and then a big part of that is Krown Charities, which is something we absolutely love and we're building right now, where we can give back to the world. We can give back to whether it's helping foster children, or whether it's helping orphanages, or whether it's whatever it may be around the world. We're doing different projects that the community will vote on, and that'll help forward our mission and move it forward. It's really about doing good. We can have all the technology in the world, and it's beholden upon us to do what we can for the good of the world, and that's how I view it.
so what is a quantum secured blockchain? I think some people may be listening, or it's a little bit
Yeah.
over their head. Sounds
Okay. That's
space.
okay. Yeah. No. So we're entering an age, what's called the quantum age, quantum era, and what that means is that we're dealing with computers now that are billions and trillions times more powerful than the most powerful computers that we have currently, and those are called quantum computers. Those quantum computers can be used by bad actors, bad state actors, um, to break encryption and to break what we know to be safe these days now, and that includes banking infrastructure, network, corporate infrastructure, and networks. And so what we're doing is we're building a blockchain whereby people will be able to trade, almost like stocks. They'll be able to trade, they'll be able to buy and sell, they'll be able to utilize all the different utilities in the blockchain. So a lot of people tell me, if you could explain the quantum chain in like 10 seconds, give me the 10-second spiel. If you can imagine the human body, the blockchain, the Krown chain is the human body. And inside that is the ecosystem. These are all the different products, and those are the organs. And so they work together to make the blockchain live. And so that's what it is. And quantum encrypted means that our security side is encrypted in a way that the new quantum computers in the quantum era wouldn't be able to break the security like they can in security now.
Wow. That so how long before we see quantum computers kind of come online? Because I know AI is like just in the past. I feel like the past 6 months, everything's AI now, and
Yeah.
it really turned on overnight. It feels like. So how long before we start seeing quantum computers show up?
Yeah. So like 2 years ago, I was talking about quantum and people were laughing at me. And now in the last, if you look at what's called NIST, NIST is a government entity or a group that offers standards for protections. It's a National Institute of Science and Technology, but those standards have moved up exponentially from what they used to be. They want people to be in what's called PQC migration or post quantum cryptography migration for companies, hospitals, all of that in the next few years. It's got to be done because you're going to reach a point where what we call Q-Day, which is where the first quantum computer breaks a real encryption, architecture or structure. That day is approaching a lot faster. It used to be, oh, we're 15 or 20 years out. 2 years ago, they were saying we're 15 or 20 years out. Now, here we are 2 years later, and they were saying we're about 3 years out. I don't think we really understand until things happen in the quantum era. Like, I don't think, because it's moved so fast, we really don't know. We're moving with it. It's really taken its own kind of position and its own growth. And we're sitting here like just playing behind the eight ball. We're kind of playing catch up, if you will. And we're reactive instead of being proactive. But where Krown is different is that it's proactive on what it can see over the horizon here that's going to happen.
So everyone's going to have to move this way. So how many people are playing in the space that you're playing in right now?
In the quantum space, the quantum blockchain space?
In the quantum space.
Yeah. Well, so we're the only one that's actually launched. We're launching this month the test net for our blockchain and our MVP package, which minimally viable product. But in this, there's a lot of talk about it, but you don't ever see any real products or services or platforms coming out for quantum encrypted blockchains and products within ecosystems. We're the only one that's actually doing it. There's a lot of talk from other ones, but no one's actually launching them. Now, in the crypto space and in the blockchain space, obviously you have some of your big players. You'll have your main 5 or 10 blockchain players like Ethereum. And then, of course, everybody knows Bitcoin. And then you have Solana. But they're not quantum encrypted chains. And I think when you represent, like for them, the entire industry itself represents, hundreds of billions of dollars in assets in custody. And so it's behooving upon them to make sure that they secure these funds. And that's exactly what Krown was built for, was built to secure billions and it can even be trillions of dollars of assets in the quantum age.
Wow. So you said the name Krown was something that you felt like was from him. Walk me through kind of your journey as a Christian and kind of how this idea that you felt like was from the Lord.
Yeah, absolutely. This is my favorite part. So I became a Christian when I was 11, almost 12 years old. Accepted the Lord, as my Lord and Savior, accepted Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior. And my whole life, there's been times, I guess you could call them ups and downs, where I felt his presence and then I didn't feel his presence. But he was there with me the entire time. And, I've been in this space for a long time and I've seen the ugly part of it. I've seen the evil part of it. And I was just kind of just tired of that, and one day my wife and I were just laying in bed and we were talking and I was trying to figure out something that we could do that would be something that I'm good at, something that I love to do, but then also something that can serve a purpose. And it hit me like a ton of bricks, man. It was like, I want to do blockchain. I'm going to build a blockchain. I'm going to stop all of this, this horrible hacking and everything that's going on here. And the name Krown just kept sticking in our head. It was like we were both talking about it, and it was like, and to me, so it represents, it's inspired by the crown of thorns on Jesus' head, and I think to me the crown of thorns really represents sacrifice. It represents purpose, and a higher calling for me, and that kind of envelops everything that we do at Krown. Krown is done, with the intention of defending against evil. It's done with integrity. It's done with honesty and transparency. Everything that we do, and we live the Lord's, the Lord's calling and our purpose in that way. If we try to give back in everything that we do, so we look at it and we say, okay, with this product, this is great. What revenue model can we get? How can we make this better? And then for society, and then what good can we do with it? And how do we give back? And so we do that with every single thing we build. And that's how Krown, and that's the entire purpose of Krown is to clean up the space with regard to security and transparency and trust, and then to do good with it. I think, all technology leaders, tech company leaders, they should have that philanthropic side. They should have a purpose of doing goodwill in the world. And for me, as being a Christian, that just, I think that's a natural thing for us because we want to help our fellow man and women, but you know what I mean, mankind. And so for us, Krown isn't just, it's not just a brand name. It's really more of a vision and a purpose.
Yeah, that's a very kingdom first focused mentality where you're putting the good of mankind above everything else.
Yeah.
And so as you continue to yield to the Holy Spirit within the context of business, how do you see him directing your steps and opening doors in the business?
Well, it's been nothing short of a miracle the whole way. Every single day, there's something you can always attribute to him. And we pray every morning, every evening, and we thank him for the blessings, the miracles that he's provided for us, and what, and to lead us with wisdom and and to open up the doors that he feels we need. May whatever his will be done, but he's worked every day in our life from the very beginning. Krown actually started back in the spring of last year, 2024. And we started really getting traction at the end of the year when we started our pre-sale. And there's been some very difficult times. There was there were a few people that were in Krown in the very beginning, and they became close to us, and we thought that their intentions were true and pure, and the Lord shed light on the fact that they weren't. It was very difficult because they come close to us, and we had to let them go, and it was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do in business. But I couldn't let them or that person, take us off of what we call our true north, right? And so the Lord led us out of that dark time there, and it actually set Krown back several months. But the Lord kept providing, and He made sure that every morning we got up. My wife and I have a saying every single morning. We look at each other when we first open our eyes. We look at each other and then we say, God gave us another day together.
Wow.
And it's a blessing. Mm-hmm. It's a blessing. It's a blessing to just the fact that I know him and I know how much he's saved me. I'm a 3-time advanced stage cancer survivor. And on January 3rd, 2003, I flatlined, and it makes you really kind of take life. You look at life from a different lens, if you will. Every morning I wake up, I'm just so thankful, and he's the reason why we do this. He's the reason why everything that we do together, that we have this purpose, this feeling of purpose. He's the reason why we want to give back in every way that we can with Krown, and he's the reason for everything for me. So
amazing how fast things have transpired. You said you just started in 2024, April of 2024.
Yeah. If you look back, so a lot of people have told me, including my CFO when I hired him. We hired Craig Irvine. He's our chief financial officer, and he used to be the managing director of Merrill Lynch and vice president of Citigroup. And he was telling me the other day, he's like, James, you started getting your traction back in August, September, really, of 24. You've been at this for only a year. He goes, and you're not even in, your debts are paid. To be where you are right now with this business. He said, that's very impressive. It's very rare to see that type of traction and that type of progress in 1 year, in your very first year, especially in this space. So it is certainly a blessing. And yeah, it's only been a year. And, I'm looking forward to many more.
Man, that's a testament to just letting God have the reins and then him kind of showing off.
Yeah. He never fails. He never fails us. Like it's so awesome to watch because like we'll go through. So we'll have some really tough, like maybe we have a tough day or a tough week or whatever it may be, and look back at the end of the week and it's like, man, we got so much done. Like we really got a whole lot done, but it didn't feel like it because we were, it was just such a struggle and everything was stacked on us all week, and and every single day, maybe it's a tough day, uh, but the Lord gets us through it, and He continues to keep us on that vision, like that true north vision of this is where you're going, follow me. Sometimes, sometimes I only see the one set of footprints, and I wonder, and I have to remind myself that like it says, I have to remind myself that it was then and there that you carried me, and but He keeps us going.
I think what birthed the passion for me with the whole idea of marketplace and faith was seeing it firsthand and giving the Lord my sales department the ideas, and then all of a sudden I look up and we're selling more than we've ever have. I'm doing less work. I'm sitting here trying to figure out I need to do some more stuff, but the sales are just coming in. So I knew it wasn't anything in and of myself, or it was obviously the great team that we had and the strategy that the Lord gave us, but it was he brought the overflow and just letting him lead the business.
Yeah, and He doesn't. The thing about it is a lot of people I in my life they said, well, if you you giving everything to your God. I've heard that this has been said to me. You give everything to your God, and then how come you still have problems and all this? I say, God never promised that you wouldn't have, problems. He never promised that, the waves wouldn't hit you, or, he never promised that, the devil wouldn't attack you.
Right.
What He promised is that He would always be there,
Mm-hmm.
and that he would lead you, and that He could carry you in the times that you needed, and and that's what he gave. And I think people don't realize, a lot of people in business especially, they get muddy, and the water gets muddy for them, and they start hyper focusing on their profits, and they start hyper focusing on whatever little issue may be happening that day. And I think it's extremely important to pull back and look at the big picture of things, and look at what God is doing in your life and in your company's life, in the bigger picture. So,
And he gives you the wisdom and the revelation during those times of problems, when there's employee issues or when there's other issues that happen within the business. There's always going to be something. But as those happen, and praying through those, either gives you the peace, he either gives you a strategy, or gives you the words to say to the people that need to that you're dealing with. So there's, like you just said, he's the one that's carrying you through the issue.
yeah. And the thing is people have to understand, as a Christian, as a business owner, it's my role to carry out His vision faithfully. Krown's just a tool. Krown's just a tool that He's entrusted in me to do that with. This isn't something that I'm not like that He's not involved in. Like, this is just my own thinking, and this is all me, and it's not. And I don't ever I give all the glory to Him. This is not me doing this. I may be steering it physically, but when the old adage that Jesus take the wheel, Jesus has had this wheel.
Mm-hmm.
And He's been driving this highway, and we've gotten a long way on this road, and it's all because of Him.
So that kind of segues into the next question. How can businesses use marketplace influence as kingdom evangelism? How can
how can kingdom-minded individual, or
how can kingdom-minded businesses use, or business leaders use their influence to bring the kingdom into this world?
well, have courage. Have
Mm.
courage to not have courage in your faith. Don't you have to, if you're going to lead, they have to be leaders. Number one, you can be, anybody can be a CEO, anybody can be a founder, anybody can be a title, but courage in your faith and walking in that and is an example. And the best leadership, or the best driver for progress and for your faith and promotion of the Lord is your example. and not being afraid to put that out there. I think leaders, owners, founders, CEOs, whatever, they can be, if they're kingdom minded, then they're going to be God first. They're going to be Lord first, and they're going to lead by example. They're not going to be afraid of their faith. They're not going to be afraid to express that or to give glory to Him along the way. And people see that and they react to that. It's really about being a great witness for the Lord, and you do it. You can do it through the way that you carry yourself, the way that you treat others, the way you approach your business, the way you operate your business in a way that helps society, it helps the world, by doing good. There's nothing wrong with making a profit. Nothing wrong with making a profit. But what you do with that profit and how you affect others, that's really what matters. At least it does to me.
So when is Krown going live?
Yeah. Testnet is, today's the 17th. Testnet is by the end of the month. So somewhere around the 26th to the 29th this month. And then mainnet, the actual launch, we're shooting for the end of October.
So if someone wants to support you and wants to be a part of the Krown family, how do they buy Krown coins?
Yeah, so they can go to Krown.network. That's our website. And they'll click on Buy Krown, and they'll register right there, and they'll connect their wallet. If they have a wallet, they don't, they can get a wallet. Krown will have its own wallet soon, but they can go and get their wallet, and they connect their wallet, and then they can purchase Krown that way. They can either buy Ethereum or buy whatever USDT, whatever crypto they want to purchase, and then they just swap that for Krown. So, that's but cool. The first thing you want to do is go to Krown.network, and then you can read up on us. You can look at the latest videos. You can look at tutorials, all of that. So Krown.network.
Yeah, it's pretty easy. I tried it myself. Definitely easy to navigate and to use. And I think this, kind of the last question. Do you have any other new projects that you're excited to share? And what's the vision? What's the high level vision for Krown in the future?
Yeah, so I think the projects that are coming out, these are all Krown projects, just so you know. So our quantum hot wallet, which will be the world's most secure hot wallet, which is the wallet where you keep all your crypto at, right? Castle, that will be ready to go in about a month. And then also Excalibur, which is our cold wallet, that's in prototyping. That probably won't be ready to go until April of next year.
So is that going to be like a ledger or
yes.
a treasure where you can?
Yep.
And it's going to have the 4-factor authentication on that cold wallet.
Yeah, it'll have a lot on there actually. So the difference, the metaphors I use is so the hot wallet Castle is like using your debit card, and Excalibur is like using a safety deposit box. So
are you going to be able to store all coins, or just a few, just only Krown, or how's that?
Yeah, you'll be able to use, actually you'll be able to store, I think, about 60 different currencies, digital currencies in there. Everything from your Ethereum, Bitcoin, Krown, all of those, you can use all of those, store them in there. So, but those are the projects I'm looking forward to. And then, of course, the MVP is coming out, the MVP package, which is the blockchain, the wallet, the native coin, and the Explorer, where you can see all the transactions happening. Those will be ready to go here shortly, and it's gonna be awesome. I'm really, really excited about this. It's been something we've been building for over a year now, and it's finally coming to fruition. So, super excited about that. And then what else was there? I was going to tell you. Let's see, those were the 2 projects right now. I think I'm good.
That's cool. Well, I appreciate your time and sharing your wisdom, James. This is great.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me, man. And God bless. And I just, it's platforms like this that where the real special things take place, right? It's when we get to talk about the Lord, but we also get to do good with business and help society. I think these are the platforms for the future, for good. So keep doing what you're doing with Marketplace Kings. I love it, and hope to see you again.
Yeah, hopefully this encourages people. This encourages business leaders to really be bold in their faith and really give their business to the Lord. So
yeah,
I appreciate it again.
Yeah. Thank you, Richey. Have a good one.
You too.
All right. Bye-bye.